quality.
On this episode of DCL Dorks,
We're very immersed in the experience. I mean, you definitely forgot that you were on a cruise ship. The music was spectacular, and the attention to detail was amazing, as was our staff, Karen and David, which Brian noted to our server, David, that his best friend is also named David.
That's true, and it caught me by surprise.
He was very excited. I
had a couple of drinks before.
He sure did. Disney Cruisers, what's up? We are back, and guess what we're going to talk about today?
Coco.
Coco, very timely since we're releasing this in October, just in time for Dia de Muertos.
And so it was on the Disney Treasure. This last trip we took on the Treasure. One of the theme restaurants is Plaza de Coco.
It is amazing.
This is in the same location as the
Arendelle.
So it's the after the ship, deck 3. So the way that's set up, there's a very long corridor to get you back to the restaurant, because it's in the very back, because it's got windows that actually look out the back of the ship. So you have a very long corridor, which is great because it kind of helps to set the scene as you're kind of making your way towards the dining room.
It's very much like the queue on a Disney ride, where it helps set the scene for the ride. But this queue for the restaurant. They've got some tremendous created artifacts of the Coco world. They have a stunning Alfrenda. The Alfrenda, it's got pictures of, it's just like in the movie. It's got all the pictures.
It's got all the pictures of all the family, from the animated movie, and then it's got, and as we found when we took the kind of the Imagineering tour of the ship, I mean, every piece of
aesthetics done on a Disney ship is there purposefully, and this was no exception. And it was so well done, and the attention to detail. It's kind of a darker area. It's not very brightly lit, but it's very subdued. And
the idea is it's supposed to be the outdoor plaza at nighttime. So like they have like some greeneries hanging up, but then they have like string type lights, as if
and the garland.
Yeah.
And then they have street paintings that are on the perimeter of like different markings of the plaza. And then in the center stage, where on the Wish is the stage for Arendelle, here is the center stage, is the center square of Saint Cecilia Square. And if the room was designed so that every seat in that space can see that stage.
everything we do lives at DCLDorks.com. Podcasts, blog, YouTube, Maker Studio, and join the crew for free downloads. If you're looking for cruise tips or crafty fun, head on over to DCLDorks.com. It's all there.
What's great is that it's really, I guess, the first restaurant on a Disney cruise ship that has like more of a Mexican vibe. It's got a Mexican menu. The whole menu is curated, to the story. So it's a lot of different Mexican dishes, which is kind of a nice little change,
It is, because we've had French restaurants, there's Italian restaurants.
There's always steak houses. And there's
1923 is California themed. The chefs get a chance to shine with the bold flavors of that culture. So we got to go to Coco twice, so we're going to talk you through both nights of our experience.
Well, and so since it's, the Treasure right now is doing 7-day cruises with 3 rotational dining rooms that basically put you in every dining room at least twice. So then they can do 2 separate shows in Coco, based on the story of the Pixar movie.
The story picks up from the end of the movie. Night 1 is about Miguel and his abuelita, his grandmother. And so there is, abuelita is there, and she's in character, and Coco is in character, Miguel is in character, and then they have this 3-piece mariachi band they auditioned separately, but they're from Mexico themselves, and they were amazing.
So you have Miguel, and then you have a 3-piece mariachi band that kind of goes along with him.
Yeah. So they perform at different times throughout the entire meal establishment, and at different timings, and they walk amongst the crowd. You were very immersed in the experience. I mean, you definitely forgot that you were on a cruise ship. The music was spectacular, and the attention to detail was amazing, as was our staff, Karen and David, which Brian noted to our server, David, that his best friend is also named David.
That's true, and it caught me by surprise.
He was very excited. I
had a couple of drinks before.
He sure did.
But I mean, the menu was great. I mean, I think we had 2 meals in there. I think both meals were fantastic. So
oh yeah.
On the first night, you'll probably show, pictures.
We're going to add in pictures on the YouTube channel for pictures of each of the pieces of food that we ate that evening. You started night 1 with your drink. You had the Michelada.
Michelada, yeah. So it's basically like beer with clamato juice in it as well.
I started with the tequila sample. Now, I have no idea why I ordered this because I'm not a tequila drinker. Usually tequila makes me go like this, and then I wake up hating myself. So, but it came with this amazing cocoa wooden board with these 3 ladies from the Casa Mastari Dona Celia tequila flight. So there were 3 different types of tequila.
So basically, it's like a little ceramic figurine, but it's at their neck is like the topper, and it's filled with tequila.
Yeah, and had 3 little glasses. So I ordered that. And I ordered the Dante sipper, which I don't usually order sippers, but he was so jovial, I thought, what the heck, why not? And so it was the manganata. And then if you took the manganata and you took one of the tequilas and poured it in there, because the manganata was non-alcoholic, it was choice. It was perfect. So that was how we started off dinner.
Yeah, and also what you ended up getting was there's great little mementos too that you can take home. So
they're in my office at work now, all ready to celebrate spooky season. So the starters that we had that evening. So I ordered the goat cheese yellow red beet tower, and this was a cylindrical tower, and it was really good. It was very smooth. The beets were very well prepared, and I thought it was
it was like a roasted beet, right?
Yeah. And it was very refreshing and very clean.
And I had it's like a shrimp Diablo. I mean, almost kind of like a shrimp cocktail. It had a little bit of a kind of a tomatoey broth or sauce on the side. But typical of all Disney dining, they're all small plates, really. So certainly the appetizers are usually kind of just a small little couple bite type of thing. So that's what this was. And it was very good. But then we moved on to the soups. So
our favorite course is always the soups. I always get the soups.
So I ended up getting the chicken tortilla soup. It was good. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite soup of the week on the ship, but it was a very good soup.
I had because he had ordered the chicken tortilla, I went ahead and ordered the red and green lentil soup, and that was very good. It was I'm not a big lentil person, but if they were served like that, I would eat them more often.
The shining moment of my whole meal was the entree. So I ordered the braised short ribs.
You ordered better than I did, yes.
And they were delicious. And I ended up having short ribs later on the cruise at lunch, just because these were so great. I wanted to have short ribs again. They were prepared a little differently, but very similar and, very tender and, just a great beefy flavor. So I think I'm going to always keep an eye out for any time I see short ribs on the ship that I think they're going to knock it out of the park. So I had the short ribs and they were fantastic.
I had Luisa's Pollo Asado, which was a rosemary baked chicken. It was fine. There wasn't anything remarkable or redeemable about it. But if I was reordering, and Brian and I like to keep score of who orders better, he won the entree round.
Mm-hmm.
I won the dessert round that night because I ordered the flan, and you had the coconut tres leches.
Yeah. And to be honest, it was maybe a little forgettable. Night 2, I'll get to, was very, very good at this restaurant.
So we did have a night 2, which was terrific. Like, this was the Dia de Muertos celebration. So Miguel reunites with his great grandparents, Hector and Mama Imelda. And again, the costuming was was very on point. Mama Imelda and Hector, the way that they made them look, as they were in the
So they had basically had
as
face
their
makeup
skeletons,
to make it look like skeletons, and they had like long sleeve shirt types that made them look like skeletons, and then you also had Miguel plus the mariachi band there as well. So basically, I guess you had like kind of 6 performers plus there was a couple dancers as well.
There was a flamenco dancer, that's right, that night. And then at one point during the story, the servers even got in, kind of like they did at Rapunzel's table, where they'll have the lights, decorations that they presented as well. So that was very nice. And seated at the table when we got there was crepe paper and pipe cleaner, so that we could make
carnation
or
so
flowers.
You could either like put it in your hair, or
I wore
on
mine
your
in my hair
or whatever. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah. What I did that night was I brought my tequila flight back to the restaurant.
Right, you hadn't finished.
Because I hadn't finished. I only had the one lady. So I did that, and then I ordered the mangonada again without the sipper. So I just repeated my drink with the second flavor of the tequila. And you had I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, the recordami, which means remember me in Spanish.
And it was basically it was like a margarita, kind of a standard margarita. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had the beef empanada, and a lot of times on the ship, the empanadas are kind of dry, and I've never been, but our server, Karen, really suggested the empanada for us this time, so I ordered it, and it was fantastic. It had kind of like a braised, beef, kind of short rib inside. It was very flavorful. It was very moist, the filling, so I enjoyed it.
And we can't say enough nice things about Karen and David. Karen actually was leaving the ship when we were, because she was going home for a few weeks, and then she was starting on the Disney Destiny. So if you get Karen with 2 R's from the Philippines, please tell her we said hello. So I ordered basically similar to what you had the first night. I had Hector Riviera's sweet shrimp cocktail, and that was very good. The shrimp were really a good size, and they just kind of burst open in your mouth. It was really great.
And then go to the soup course.
Because it's the soups.
So I ordered the soup, and there was 2.
You ordered.
I think almost always there's 2 soup choices, certainly at dinner. Most of the times I'll pick my favorite of the 2, but this night they had a chilled avocado soup that I really wanted to try, but they also had a Chipotle black bean soup that, and I love like a nice black bean soup. So I ended up ordering both. And I need to do that more often on this. And in fact, if I'm going to maybe skip dessert and just order the 2 soups, because I'm more of a savory guy anyways, but I ordered the 2 soups. So it came out, and I think I had the avocado soup first. So it was chilled, which I'm fine with, but it was just didn't have a heavy avocado flavor. It was almost more like an avocado, like, I don't know, water. It was very kind of a thin I was thinking it'd be more of like like thicker type of soup, but it was pretty thin. It was almost like an avocado water. So that one was kind of forgettable, but
I couldn't eat it because it would kill me, because I'm allergic to avocado.
But the black bean soup was probably
amazing.
One of the top 3 I had all week, and it just had a great robust flavor to it. Kind of had some chunks of black bean in it, but also it had been pureed a little bit. And then on the side, they had like a half tamale, still in the corn husk, on the side. And I kind of used it almost like a crouton, if you will, in the soup, where I broke up pieces in it and then put it on top of the soup and ate it with the soup. And it was really great.
It was, and he had me break up mine as well, and it was delicious. I would say this was for the entree that night. It was probably my number 1 entree that we had at the rotational dining room. I had the ribeye de Corte Grande, and it was huge. And it was kind of more. It wasn't like it was prime rib, yeah.
Prime rib,
and it was delicious. I would have ordered that again and again.
Well, I had the carnitas, basically like a pulled, pork that then gets kind of like roasted a little bit, so it gets kind of crispy edges on it. And then they have a little bit of rice. They have a little pickled onion, which is red onion, which is great. And they have a little avocado, and then they give you some tortillas, flour tortillas on the side, so you can kind of make up, your little, almost like soft taco there. And I did that. It was very good. There were a lot of choices that night, on it. It was kind of really hard to pick which one.
What was great was the menus were separate. There weren't any repeats.
No.
They were very distinct menus. So if you didn't like something from night one, you didn't have to worry about avoiding it on night two.
The following night, we were in 1923 for the rotational dining, and we saw that one of the adjoining tables ended up getting that prime rib from Coco to their table. So they must have asked their server, because that same
was the Dia de Muertos celebration
menu was going on in the other that same night, but for a different rotational dining. But the kitchen's still making that entree, so she must have was able to get her server to bring her that entree, because she must have just loved it so much.
It was, I don't blame her. Then for dessert that night, I was underwhelmed. I'm going to go first because I don't want to end on a bad note.
Right.
I had the cappuccino creme brulee cheesecake, and that was a pass for me. I didn't finish it. I love creme brulee. I enjoy a good cheesecake, but it just didn't. It did nothing. I didn't need it.
It almost wasn't set up enough. It was almost too, I don't know, like squishy, if you will.
It was more gelatinous. It wasn't as soft as a creme brulee, and I don't think it was trying to get there, but it just wasn't. The texture was off, and I would have rather had a cappuccino creme brulee and left it at that.
So what I got was basically like a pecan tart. So basically, small little, basically like, a crust, a tart crust, if you will, but then inside was pecans, some chocolate chips, I believe, and then just kind of like a syrupy, very similar to almost like a pecan pie, I guess. But it was fantastic. Had a little dollop of whipped cream on it, and it was just a great ending to the meal. I would if I could get that dessert every night, I might just order that.
Coco was my favorite dining, other than Enchante, experience on the Disney Treasure. A lot of people ask, what happens when you just go, the two of us? There were a lot of, since we cruised during the school year, because it was after Labor Day, we were seated at a table of 6 by ourselves. So we did have a table to ourselves that time. And there were a lot of other adult couples that were seated by themselves. We had wonderful wait staff. But we can't wait to tell you more about our nights at 1923, our nights at World of Marvel, and of course, our dinner extravaganza at Enchante. So thank you, everyone. Remember, if you are listening to this as a podcast, if you check out the YouTube video, will be images of every dish that we tried that evening, so that you can see if it's something that you would enjoy as well.
And if you do go to Coco, try to get matching shirts.
That's what's really key. We stopped by Character Warehouse on the way in, and we're from the Midwest, so we did not know about Character Warehouse and the bounty of half-priced goodies, which is where we got our ensembles.
To just be able to kind of like immerse yourself in the costume too.
It was formal night, and people were like, "Oh, it's formal night." We're like, "Yeah, we're going to Coco. We're wearing this."
Mm-hmm.
Well, we will see you soon, and happy sailing.